Hey, neurodivergents. Today, I'm going to share with you how I discovered my diagnosis. I had recently turned 29 and I had just quit alcohol, the worst of my addictions, which I had battled over many years without any success. I'm going to talk about it extensively in future videos. As I mentioned in the previous video, I had been to a few therapists along the way of finding out why I am the way I am, but without any luck. The only partially correct diagnosis which I got throughout these experiences was having OCD. And of course, I was diagnosed by different specialists with having severe depression or anxiety. As is the case with many autistic individuals who did not receive their diagnosis on time, I was stumbling along the way of my discovery journey. This left me miserable and powerless on many occasions, especially when I was having my meltdowns and I had no idea what that is. Why do I have these outbursts of anger which are uncontrollable and I start screaming at the top of my lungs or start breaking stuff? And of course, I had no idea how to deal with them. The only thing I was thinking is something is very wrong with me. Alcohol, as I mentioned in the previous video, was a big part of my life. I was addicted to it for more than 15 years. Without realizing, I used it to help me with my masking. I did not know what masking is either. And since it's such an easily accessible social lubricant, I got used to it very quickly. I did not realize it at the time, but whenever I would not have a drink, my social anxiety was running wild. And eventually, over years and years of drinking, this turned into alcoholism. During that period, I also developed severe addictions to other substances as well. But this is not the topic of this video, so I'll make sure that I'll cover it extensively in future videos as well. As soon as I quit alcohol, I started experiencing my autism symptoms full force. So it wasn't long before I got on the web to find answers. I had to know what is happening with me. I was feeling so much anxiety and I was constantly depressed. I just had to know. I was also tired to going to useless therapy by that time, so I was determined to find the answers on my own. Thus started my long research on various psychological conditions and neurodevelopmental disorders. I was reading articles and scientific papers on depression, anxiety, OCD, bipolar disorder, personality disorders such as antisocial, schizoid, borderline, narcissistic, histrionic, etc. I was also doing numerous tests one after another and comparing my results. Eventually, I stumbled upon autistic spectrum disorder, or Asperger's syndrome like it used to be called, a neurodevelopmental condition that shows up signs from early childhood. Children are hyper or hyposensitive with one or more of their senses. They have restricted, or should I say, special interests. They also exhibit repetitive behavior, they are keen on sameness and having a routine, and most of all, they have difficulties with social interaction. This could range from reading other people's emotions and social cues to avoiding communication altogether. They experience tremendous social anxiety. There are many more major and subtle symptoms which I'm going to cover in the videos to follow. So anyway, I finally felt I had my answer. I'm autistic. For the next few weeks, I read more literature and started comparing my early childhood years, my adolescent years, and various situations from my life experiences with the information I was reading. I was now certain I was autistic. I just had to prove it. During my research, I also noticed I score quite high on ADHD, another neurodevelopmental condition that is often comorbid with autism. OCD, which I mentioned earlier, is also something that I scored high on. I now had my answer. I had finally discovered why I am the way I am. It was now time for the next step, to show my loved ones, my family, and my friends my true self without a mask. It was also high time to find a way to get my proper diagnosis, both for my own reassurance and for credibility before the people I love and care for. In the next video, I'm going to talk about getting my real diagnosis and the obstacles I stumbled upon along the way. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Thank you for your time, and peace be with you.